everyone, Dr. Z here with your Week 7 high-value daily fantasy picks. Come along as we see the highest value picks to be made for your daily fantasy team in Week 7 of the NFL season.
I'm Dr. Z. I love science, I love technology, I love data, but more than anything, I love daily fantasy football.
Leading off our rundown of high-value Week 7 daily fantasy picks is Andre Ellington, running back for the Arizona Cardinals. We have him ranked 5th in our PPR fantasy rankings for running backs in Week 7, and he's projected to score 18.08 fantasy points on 80 yards rushing and 30 yards receiving. Now he's facing the Oakland Raiders, who give up the 7th most fantasy points to opposing running backs, 22.8 on average. And he can be had for only $7,100 in your daily fantasy league. This is a definite 5-star matchup for Ellington, so make sure you secure him early as either a running back 2 or a flex option. Next up is Jermaine Gresham, tight end for the Cincinnati Bengals. He can be had for the relatively small sum of $5,200. And while he's only ranked 18th in our PPR rankings for tight ends in Week 7, he does project to score 8.03 points, with 3 receptions and 35 yards receiving. Add to that the fact that he's going up against the Colts, who give up the 8th most fantasy points to opposing tight ends, 10 on average, and you've got a definite 5-star matchup here. Best of all for Gresham owners is the fact that Cincinnati is missing 2 of their big offensive weapons, in Marvin Jones, who's recently ruled out for the season, and AJ Green, who's likely to sit with an injury this week. Last, but definitely not least, is Colin Kaepernick, quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. He can be had for the comparatively small sum of $7,800, and we have him ranked 3rd in our quarterback rankings in Week 7. He projects to throw for 248 yards and rush for an additional 40, making him a great pickup this week. Best of all, he's going up against the Denver Broncos defense, who give up the 9th most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks, 17.9 on average. So expect Kaepernick to have a big day through the air, particularly coming off a confidence-building win in St. Louis. All told, you've got a definite 5-star matchup in this one. This has been Dr. Z with your daily fantasy high-value pickups for Week 7 of the NFL season. You can see all our fantasy projections at swishanalytics.com or follow us on Twitter at Swish Analytics. Join me next week when I try to calculate how much a good touchdown celebration should be worth for your fantasy team. That one's like worth 2 tops, if that.